Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 33. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hey you all. Okay, so last episode was the episode with Mom and I. She was able to talk about teaching, and we were able to discuss, kind of reflect on her time as a teacher, why she was a teacher, her advice to teachers, and let me just say, I loved it. That was such a fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you all, you guys, for tuning in to that episode. Again, thank you, Mom, for coming in with a day's notice to record the episode. I'm very grateful for that. So thank you so much. If you hadn't had a chance to listen to it, go back, listen to it. It's a good one. I love the episodes where I get a chance to talk to other people. I know there's only been a few, my mom, dad, and sister, but I do hope to get more. And in fact, my next episode, y'all, I'm so pumped. We already recorded it. I recorded an episode with one of my besties, Jessica. Hey, Jess. I say, hey, Jess, like she's going to listen. Y'all, she doesn't listen to this. I'm just kidding. We actually joke about that in the episode, which is why I feel like I have to say that. Maybe now she's listening. So if you are listening, hey, Jess, glad you're listening. But again, I'm very excited about that. So definitely tune in to the next episode coming out in a couple weeks. But hi. Hey, everyone. You know, it's been a great last couple of weeks. I do feel like I said, I love my guest episodes where I have people on, but I also like the episodes where I feel like I'm just talking to my peeps, talking to my friends and keeping them company, and it's just you and me. Hi, I hope you all had an amazing last couple of weeks, an amazing last month. I hope your Mother's Day went fantastic. You guys, today was the last day of school for students. For teachers, we still have one more day, but the last day of school with students, it was wonderful. It went by slow at sometimes, fast at others, and it was just good all around. Y'all, there's something about the last day of school. In fact, I was walking the halls today with another teacher, and I was sitting there thinking, like, well, first off, how blessed I am to work a job that I really enjoy and like, but also just how cool, like not many jobs do you have like the last day of something and like in a big way. Like how cool is that this is the last day of school, like this is the end of something. And really, we'll see the kids in a couple of months. I always say that a lot of times the kids, they'll be crying like, we're gonna miss you, and I'm like, okay, y'all miss me today, but in 2 months y'all are gonna be like, oh, it's time again, I get to see you already. I'm telling you, it will fly by. But how cool is it? Like not many jobs have that opportunity to have like an end to something. But then maybe other jobs do as well. Like maybe, like for example, you might have a job where you guys are working on a project and it might be a couple years long, but then you reach the end of it, right? And that's a really good feeling and you're like, we've made it. And then you know that you'll probably take a little bit of break and reprieve, but then you'll move on to the next thing. And I don't know, I there's just something cool and nice about reaching the end of something, a good accomplishment of something. Like we made it through the school year. We tried our best to teach the kids. They tried their best to learn. And now we get a break and we get to move on to, the next year. Now I will say this, something that's different this year when it comes to teacher pay. So I know sometimes a lot of people think that teachers, we get paid all year round, even when we don't work, and they just like, you just get paid for not working. Well, that's not true. We get paid, teachers, we get paid hourly. And what they do is they take out part of our paycheck to be able to pay us in the summer. So it's not like we're getting paid extra when we're not working. They're just paying us the hours that we work or the days that we work. And then from that, taking money out to be able to pay us in the summer. So it's not extra money. It is what it is. It's just money stretched out. But y'all, this summer, they're doing something different. Normally, you have the option. They'll give you a choice. My district where you can get paid bi-weekly throughout the summer. They'll just hold on to your money and pay you bi-weekly as if you're getting a normal paycheck through, August or September when they pay you again. But this summer, they are requiring, or the other option, let me just say, so the other option is that you get one lump sum at the beginning of the summer to last you all summer, and you won't get paid again till the fall. But this year, they're doing something different where they are making everyone choose the option where they give you one lump sum at the beginning of the summer, and they will not pay you again till the fall. You guys. So I've been able to experience the lump sum type pay before. And let me just say, I can't speak for you. Me, I start out with the best intentions. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put it in savings. I'm going to pay myself every 2 weeks. Like, this is how I'm going to manage my money. And it works good for like the first month, maybe, a few weeks. But then you guys, since it's a lump sum, you're like, I've got all this money at one time. I could just go ahead and buy that big thing instead of saving all my money just to pay for it at the end of the summer. Why don't I just buy it now and then, be frugal for the rest of the summer? And I will talk myself into, next thing I know, like spending all my money and being like broke from the whole month of August, just being like, oh, I have no money left, waiting to get paid again. So this new change of us going to this one lump sum in the summer, I don't think is a good idea. At least not for me. Now my husband, he's not worried in the least. He's like, yeah, I can manage money very well. So he's not concerned, but I'm like, okay, all right, we'll have to see how this works. But yeah, so we are entering summer. I'm very excited. I'm very pumped. This summer, I'm not working. Most summers, I think out of all the summers that I've been a teacher, I've worked in some capacity. So I have worked science camps at our science center, which I've enjoyed. Those are fun. I've done literacy camps with my district. I've done kind of like tutoring camps. That's what I did last year. So I usually do work in the summer just for, the extra money and to just do something in the summer. But this is my first summer that I'm like, you know what? I'm not working. I'm going to try my best to enjoy my summer off. I did plan to do some of my trainings, my mandatory trainings, the first week or two in June to try to knock those out. And that's 12 hours of training and an additional 8 hours, I think, of another training. And then another 10 hours that'll come in July. But those are the only things that I have to do. And I'm going to try my absolute best to relax and just enjoy life this summer just as much as I can and try to just chillax, which is so funny because one of the more difficult things for me to do is to not have something to do, right? And to not have a job that I know I'm going to do, but just to know that I'm kind of relaxing this summer. You guys, on this podcast, y'all are going to be hearing me be like, okay, so I tried this out and I'm trying this out because I want to try things. I'm going to be trying things to just to see, but it can't be work related. I'm going to try to do relaxing stuff. So I don't know. I try something in nature. I don't want to be lazy. I don't just want to sleep all day. I mean, I do want to do that for the first 2.5 weeks. Don't get me wrong. The first 2.5 weeks, I plan on not waking up to an alarm at all. I plan on being absolutely lazy, not doing a thing. And then after that, I will jump on board, probably super clean the house, maybe try to be more productive again, try to come up with things like that, things to do, things to be productive. But yes, so I'm sure you guys will hear about my adventures. Hopefully I'm like, hey, I tried this. Or maybe I'll be like, you know what? Y'all had a really good time relaxing this last week, staring out into nature. Nature's been getting me. I've been loving it. I think I talk about almost every other podcast. I just love nature. It's so pretty. It gets you inspired. It inspires me. It reminds me of God. I love it. So yeah, we'll see what this summer actually ends up looking like. But the last episode, so the episode before the episode that I spoke with Mom, so the episode before the last, I had talked about I was about to go on a rail explorer adventure thing where you bike on the railroad thing. And we did that. And let me just say, it was fun. it wasn't too active. Like, I think almost any age group could go, and we did have a diversity of ages, I think, that went with us, from like kids up to older age. And you sit on this, you sit. So you are sitting kind of like just in a, not in a chair, but like in a cart thing, but you have to pedal. And it was kind of funny because we did a 2-seater, my sister and I, and while it did require 2 people to pedal, it really didn't, some of the ones we were on, because there were times where I would stop pedaling and the cart would not go any faster or slower. But if my sister did, it would totally go faster or slow down. And I was like, I think mine's fake. Like, mine is just to make you feel like you're being helpful. But I was like, I think yours is the real deal. Either that or it's not hooked up right or something. And so I remember on the way back, we pedaled, I would say maybe 30 to 40 minutes one way, and then stopped at a bridge and then came back. And on our way back, it was so much more effort. When we went down there, it's like motorized pedaling, so it was very light. It was like push it twice and it would like roll forward. But on the way back, it was like if we stopped pedaling, this thing was gonna stop. And so it definitely took a lot more effort, but definitely more on my sister's part. I don't know how or why, but her pedals actually mattered. Mine were placebo pedals. Like, they did nothing. They were there just to make me feel good and feel like I was a part of something. But it was fun. We were riding through like some trees and things on the railroad. They had some box cars that were strategically, I'm sure, placed beside the railroad that we could see. We passed by like a horse farm and got to see some horses. We got to go to this bridge, this overpass kind of bridge thing. That's where we ended up. And then we came back and it was really nice. We had amazing weather for it. It was so beautiful. It was slightly on the chilly side, but not too bad. Like, I had a short sleeve. Did I wear short sleeves? I think I did have a short sleeve shirt on. I can't remember if it was short sleeve or 3/4 sleeve or something. But it was fine. I probably could have did like a light jacket or something. Oh, no, I did. No, I didn't. Y'all, I don't remember. But yeah, maybe a light jacket would have been nice, but it really was a pleasant trip. So if you have a rail explorer thing somewhere near your town or where you live, I would say if it's within the hour, go ahead to it. If you have kids, I think kids would love it. If they have the stamina to be able to pedal for about 30, 40 minutes, and not pedal hard, but just, know that they're going to have to do that. They can't get off, go to the restroom, things like that. They got to keep the pedals going, but it was pretty fun. One of the funny moments that happened, luckily it didn't happen to me, but it happened to my sister and another one of the ladies we were with. And that was, I was talking with my sister, and she's talking back, and the next thing I know, she's like, blah, blah. And she was like, I just ate a bug. And I was like, oh no. Because yes, when you are in nature, the bugs are flying. And if your mouth is open, a bug's going to fly in. And then one of the ladies who was behind us, we were turning around trying to wave at them. And she said, I was trying to wave and call and say hi. And she's like, but some bug flew in my mouth. And I was like, oh no. So yes, that is probably the downside of it, is that, bugs could fly in your mouth and you could deal with some bugs. Now I wouldn't say it was overly buggy by any means, but there were bugs there. And if you were not careful, you would get some extra protein that day. So we did that. And then after that, we went to this pizza place called Craft Pizza, which I had been to, I think, one time before. And so this was, I think, just my second time, maybe third time. I can't remember exactly. And we ordered different pizzas. And one of my friends got a pickle pizza. I know to me, it sounds very gross, but to some people it sounds very interesting. And she said it was actually pretty good. The pickle wasn't dill. It was a different kind of pickle. It was sweet, but not super sweet. I don't know exactly the type of pickle it was, but it was different. And I think I just ate a piece of her pickle. I don't think I ate a piece of the pickle with the cheese and the pizza part, but I had the bacon cheeseburger pizza. Another lady there had the margarita crisp, which was so good. It was this really thin, like almost tortilla style, crispy, with mozzarella on top, with tomatoes and like Parmesan sprinkled on top. It was really yummy. And then there was like this Alfredo pizza, like chicken Alfredo pizza, which was really good. So it was great. And I love when you have a big group of people and everybody orders something different. but big enough that you're like, hey, get a piece of that, get a bite of that. Why don't you try this? And it ended up being very yummy and delicious. And it was fun sampling everybody's different types of pizzas. And I amazed myself in a terrible way because I think I ate like all of my pizza minus maybe half a slice, at least 3 other slices from 3 different other people's pizza, and cheese sticks and samples of just like everything. I was like, oh my goodness, I must have been hungry. But I totally did eat a lot of that, and all of it was very yummy. So if you have a craft house nearby you, go ahead and check out that pizza. It's pretty good, very cheesy, which I love. I need cheesy pizzas. Those are the best. But yeah, so that was a good trip overall. It was a small group trip with my church, and it was really fun. So I liked that. It was a great time. I'm glad that I was able to record first and then make it on time to go down there. It was really cool. Okay, so speaking of traveling and cycling and doing all these things, I've been really slacking when it's come to exercising lately. In fact, I have not, and I feel so guilty to admit this. As of maybe like earlier this month, I had not been to the gym to work out since February, since like before the cruise. I know. And you guys, I was going twice a week, like to go work out. And I just, after the cruise, y'all, I don't know, something to me was like, I'm good. And I just hadn't been. Y'all, I'm still paying for it, and I'm still going to pay for it because I'm still going to go back. But I hadn't been in forever. And so like, about 3 weeks ago now, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to a workout class that was strength training because I was like, you know what? I need to do more strength training. I've done a lot of cardio, but I think I need to get some muscles, to tap into those gains of like getting the muscles working even when I'm not working out, all that stuff, all these hacks that you're trying to do to get healthy and fit. And so I went to a strength training class, and it was one session. So I went to 2 back-to-back. They were both 30-minute sessions, so just an hour total. One working the arms, I think, and chest, and maybe the second one working like legs and abs or something. So I did those, and I felt good while doing it. I didn't wow myself, but I felt like I kept up with the instructor. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I felt good until, I don't know, like not even a week or two, a day or two later. And after that day or two, y'all, I don't know what I did, but I did something, okay, to my leg. Okay, my left leg, my left thigh. I don't even know if you can sprain muscles in your thigh. I mean, I assume you can, but I didn't feel it. Like, I don't know why I felt it like 2 days later. And y'all know, I was just recovering from my neck and back hurting, right, for like 3 weeks. But my thigh, I did something to it where like it will go out every maybe once to maximum 3 times a day. When I'm walking, I'll turn or something, and it will just go like it'll, I say tweak. It'll like tweak a little bit and just kind of shift, and I'll be like, ow, and I'll almost fall, but it's very quick. So I always catch myself, and I haven't fallen yet, thank God. But like that, y'all, it has been 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks, and my little leg, it still likes to do it. Now, it hasn't done it as much in the last few days, but like yesterday, I was standing and I almost felt it come on, and I like had to stop myself. But I was like, from one workout, like, come on. And so I've been trying to walk more. I was like, okay, maybe I can't do strength training right away. Like, maybe I need to ease into this. And so I have been walking more. I've walked around, my neighborhood, kind of. I kind of live in a neighborhood, kind of don't. I don't live in a neighborhood, but I live nearby one. And so I walk down to the neighborhood, and I've just been trying to walk a little more. But you guys, come on, like, right? Like, come on. Like, this is supposed to be good. But instead, I'm over here hurting myself. But anywho, so I will start by walking. I haven't gone back to the gym since then, but now that school is out, I do plan to try to attend more, to go to the gym. I love the classes. I'm more of a class person. Like, if I go to the gym just to go to the gym, the only thing I get on is the treadmill because that's the only thing I feel comfortable with. I don't feel comfortable doing anything else. I'd be too nervous. I just don't want to do anything else. So I really enjoy the classes, like the strength training classes, the ab classes, the cardio classes, all that stuff. I can do that all day long. So I am going to do that, hopefully. Hopefully that's one of the things that ends up being the case for this summer podcast. But yeah, so that's that. That's one thing that I'm working on. And another thing that I've been doing lately, along with walking, because I am trying to take care of myself physically and mentally, is I had been journaling more lately. And you guys already know I love to write, period. I like to read, I like to write. And I write pretty frequently, and I have all kinds of different journals, like for different types of journaling that I want to do. But I've been journaling my journey lately, and it's been fun. But one thing I've noticed while I'm writing, and I want to see if you guys have noticed this too, is that sometimes I have my journals that I just write in, and it doesn't matter how my writing looks. I'm just writing, and it's just like, it looks very messy. It's for me. It's whatever. But then I have my journals that I actually want to write neat in, like they're either a new journal or it's pretty. And so I want to write neat in it. And so I'll try my best to write neat. But I've noticed there are moments where I'm like writing a word and I go to write a letter and my hand just does something weird. Like I know how to write the letter, but then like, let's say I'm writing like a W and then somehow the second swoop is weird. And I'm like, that is not how I pictured it. That is not what I told my hand to do. But now it made it really big or weird. Or I'll write like a D or a T and just make it too big or too small. And I'm like, what in the world? Like my hand kind of does its own thing. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's not a big deal. But I've noticed that like when I'll write, I'm just writing so nice and neat. And then my hand will do something wonky. And I'm like, what? What is this? But I have been writing more, trying to do that more, trying to, just get some thoughts and things out there. Like I said, I love to write. I'd love to find some type of platform to merge writing and reading and podcasting and all of that. That's not video podcasting, even though I'm going to have to start exploring that. But I've been writing more. And so that's something that I think I like. I mean, obviously I love to write, but just something that I'm trying to be maybe a little more consistent about. And then I say that and y'all, I haven't written in like the last 5 days, but I've been thinking about it. It has been on my mind. But yeah, so those are the things I'm working on: walking more, journaling more. And then I have to tell y'all this, the last time we talked, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So the Mother's Day episode, I did not talk about Teacher Appreciation Week, because I don't know if I think it was the week after that. I don't remember. But we had Teacher Appreciation Week. And I love Teacher Appreciation Week. Like, it's fun. It's fun to be appreciated. But I want to tell you guys which company won my heart Teacher Appreciation Week. So y'all know that I've been trying the coffee place, the 7 Brew place, right? And I tried the first time and it was good. Like I was like, it's got a different kind of taste to it, but I like it enough. So I tried it and then I went back again and it was, I think she charged me the small price for the medium, but it was still good, not the best I've ever had, but still pretty good and can hold its own. And I tried that, but you guys, they've won me over because for Teacher Appreciation Week, they gave every teacher for the whole week. So I think that Monday through Friday, a free small drink. Didn't matter what the drink was. And all you had to do was show your teacher badge. You guys, when I say I went there, I think 4 of the 5 days, because the first day I was like, nah, that ain't right. I don't even, but then my teacher friend went and I was like, what? Are you sure? What? We get a free drink? And then I went and I made sure to go like every day. Y'all was getting coffee like 6:00 p.m. like at nighttime. I'm like, I'm still getting my coffee or my chai latte, I should say. Not even a coffee. I'm getting my chai latte. And they won my heart because they gave me like 4 free small drinks. And so in fact, today for the last day of school, I went by there and I bought 2 drinks, one for myself and one for my mom because it's her last day with students. And I was like, okay. And I'm going there. Like they will be on my mind and my heart to go to if I want a chai latte because I appreciated the effort they made for Teacher Appreciation Week. And I do know some places offer discounts and free cookies and things like free cookies. I know the things that I look for. I'm sure other people look for other stuff, but I look for the free cookies and food. In fact, Insomnia Cookies, they usually do like buy one cookie, get like 6 free or something like that, like get a whole bunch free. So I do, they're another one that they won my heart a bit too, with the whole Teacher Appreciation Week. So shout out to 7 Brew just for that. You guys have won my heart. I will plan to continue to go there, even on not Teacher Appreciation Days, just because I feel like y'all gave me something good, something worth it, something that really did make me feel appreciated. Okay. So at school, I have this written down because it's such a silly moment. But it shows, like, this has happened a couple of times in my life. And that is mishearing a word or mishearing a phrase. For me, it's phrases. So I was at work and one of my teacher friends was talking about vocabulary with a student. And she said the phrase lapdog. And she had said it, but I was there and I thought she said clap dog and was asking the girl what a clap dog was. And so I was like, oh, it's a dog that claps. And then she said, no, lap dog. And I was like, oh, lap dog. Gotcha. And the reason this is funny is because when I was younger in elementary school, I was at my house and I was listening to a song, and my mom can vouch for this. This is so silly. And the words of the song, it was like, it was some song about like animals, like telling you to do different things. Like, I can't think of the different ones, but this particular one said, grab your reins and gallop like a horse. And so you would just do the movements. So I was doing the different movements, but what I heard was grab your brains and gallop like a horse. And my mom says she looked over and saw me holding my head. So imagine 2 hands holding my head because I was grabbing my brains and I was galloping around the living room like I was a horse. And she was like, what is that girl doing? And I was like, it said grab your brains and gallop like a horse. And she was like, no. And we listened to it and it was grab your reins and gallop like a horse. And she just laughed. And I just had to laugh myself even as a kid because I was like, oh, like, duh. But it's funny that without even thinking about it, without even thinking like, why would they ask me to grab my brains? I just went ahead and grabbed my brains and galloped around the living room as if I was a horse. Like, just sometimes you mishear things and it can be the wildest things. And sometimes you don't even, like my brain did not kick in and say, she did not say clap dog, or, the song did not say grab your brains, but my brain, it just went towards like, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing right now. We're grabbing our brains, or she's talking about a clap dog. Like, yeah, duh. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else has moments like that, but I certainly did, and I had to write that down. I had to share that because that was just a silly moment that happened at school. That y'all, why? And one more silly moment. So this isn't at school, but this is something I think you guys can relate to. And that is, I have found that if I'm on my phone, if my internet doesn't work, I go to look at my photos. Like, does anybody, I'm sure other people do that. Like, if I am at a place, especially like at work or in the school building, in a building that internet, for whatever reason, I can't be reached. If I can't get on my Facebook or my Instagram or something like that, I will simply just start flipping through my photos. Like, not that I particularly want to look at them, but I'm like, it's the only thing without internet that I just feel like looking at. And sometimes I'll play my games, but if they're connected to the internet, that doesn't do me any good. And so I'll just look at my photos. And I don't know what that is. I'm sure other people do it too. You'll have to let me know if you do it too. But I don't know if it's because we need the visual context. Like, we're so trained and ingrained that if we're waiting, we got to be looking at something. I do think that's so interesting because I recognize that in myself. Like, I know that if I'm waiting for something, I immediately go to my phone to look at whatever. I'll look at Facebook and I'm not even interested in what's on Facebook at the time, or I'll get on Instagram, or I'll check my email. It's like I always got to be checking something. It's out of habit. Actually, one of my experiments in one of my classes for my ESL endorsement was we had to like give up the internet or whatever on our phones for a day or whatever. And I had done it and it was difficult, and not because it was like my brain knew we're not doing internet, but my body, like I would physically still do it. Like my thumb would still still go to the same apps. And I think I shared this with you when I talked about getting off of Facebook and how like my thumb would move it. So I moved Facebook to a different spot, which did help for a little while and it slowed me down. But now my thumb is used to it. It's interesting how quick that could pick up the new habit. I think, let's see, you guys know I like to talk about doctorate, right? Doctorate ideas, dissertation ideas. One dissertation idea could be how quickly the body can physically kind of be used to or adapted to certain habits, like how quickly my thumb can recognize that, okay, I click on this icon, swipe it to the left, and click the second one, to know that it's Facebook without even thinking that that's where I need to go, right? And you don't even think about it until you move it, and then you're like, whoa, have you ever changed your icons, like switch them around, and you're like, wait a minute, where did I put that originally? Or like when you get a new phone, you have to put everything in new places, and you're like, now what was it again? And your thumb kind of automatically wants to go to some things. So that's just interesting, but I did notice that when I don't have the internet, that's like my prime time to look at photos, which honestly, I need to look at them and I need to delete some, just like I need to delete some emails. I had my Chromebook up, y'all, let's not even talk about Chromebook, but it's a work computer. And I was showing one of my teacher friends something on my computer, and she just happened to see my emails, and she was like, girl, please delete those 10,000 plus emails, because I do not, when it comes to my work emails, I don't know what it is, but I don't delete them. And those are like the 10,000 unread emails, y'all. I need to. Maybe one day I will, or maybe one day I'll just wait for it to just go away when I retire or something. But yeah, so those are the opportunities I take to look at my phone. I should go through and delete my pictures, because I do think I have, how many pictures do I have? I have almost 10,000 pictures. I have 9,760 photos and 791 videos. Y'all, that's wild. So I probably should actually be strategic, and when I'm not on the internet, go through and delete some of these pictures and things. But I do find that I do that. All right. Oh no, I did have another silly moment. I just glanced down. This is my silly moment segment, this whole section. Another thing happened to me at school, at work, that, y'all, I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed, but at the same time, once I shared it with other people, they were like, okay, you're not alone in this. And that was, we had a potluck. And not a potluck. It was Teacher Appreciation Week, yeah. And one of our other teachers had arranged for a restaurant to bring us salad and to bring us Caprese or Caprese. I heard it, I think, both ways while I was there, but I'll just say Caprese, like Caprese salad. And y'all, why did I look at the Caprese salad and was like, what is this chicken and tomato dish? Because the cheese part, the caprese, or however you want to say it, looked like chicken, okay? It looked like chicken. So I was like, oh, it's a chicken and tomato salad. And then the teacher was like, oh, it's a Caprese salad. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And in my brain, I was like, oh, I didn't know that a Caprese salad was chicken and tomatoes. Like, that's cool. I thought it was cheese. But my brain, once again, didn't question it. And I went upstairs to the rest of my teammates, and I showed my one friend who's vegetarian, and I was like, hey, I got this. I was showing her, there's this, and I got the salad, and I got this Caprese chicken salad thing. And she was like, chicken salad? That's not chicken, that's cheese. I was like, this, pointing to it. She's like, yeah, that's cheese. That's Caprese or Caprese. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. So, of course, I took a bite out of it, and I was like, it is cheese. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I've been going around telling people that there's a chicken salad in there. Like, hey, mom, go try that chicken salad in there. Oh, hey, friend, go try that chicken salad. It's really good. It's the chicken and tomato salad. Y'all, why did I not know that Caprese or Caprese salad looked like chicken? I had no idea. I did feel bad. I was like, are you serious? I felt so dumb. I was like, my bad. But now I know. Now I know that the Caprese or Caprese salad looks like chicken, but it is indeed cheese, and it was a good cheese. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, I was about to say I'm not sure what type of cheese, but is the type of cheese Caprese? Is that the name of the cheese? Oh my goodness, y'all. Let me stop talking. But anyway, so that was another fun, silly moment at work. And man, and I have to share them all because we're about to have a summer where I have no more silly moments at work because I won't be working. Not to say I won't be having silly moments at home, as have I have not had luck with animals lately. And I don't know if it's just because it's spring and more animals are out. But in the last month, you guys, I am ashamed to admit this, but I have hit with my car without trying to. Like, I have seen it coming every time and have tried to actively avoid every single one and missed an animal. I hit a possum and we saw each other. Like, I feel like we locked eyes. Like, I was coming, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was leaving my parents' house and I know we locked eyes and I tried to like swerve, but he froze and then I just felt the crunch and I was like, oh no, I think I killed it. And so that was the first one. Well, then you guys, I promise you, like a week later, if that, I was on my road again and I saw this thing that I thought, I was like, okay, it's either a leaf or something else, but I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna try to go around it. And it ended up being a turtle. and I felt the knock and I looked behind me to see like if I squished it or not. Cause he was a pretty big turtle, probably about bigger than the size of my fist. And I saw it and it was on his back spinning. Like when I hit it, it must have like just knocked it on its back and it was spinning. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, I hope somehow it flipped back over. I hope I just surprised it or something, but didn't like hurt him greatly. I don't know. I still don't know what happened to that turtle. But then you guys, literally today I was driving and the squirrel, like normally they're fast enough and they get out of the way, but this morning it was not fast enough and it did not get out of the way and I felt the bump again. You guys, I do not take any joy and pleasure in killing animals at all. But I've hit them with my car, like I said, and I normally don't hit animals. Like, this is not a common occurrence. So why in the last like 3 weeks have I hit 3 different animals? And you guys, I've been paying attention. Like, I've been seeing them coming, but for whatever reason, I've just been hitting them. Maybe I need to stop trying to avoid them because I think maybe in trying to swerve around them, I'm not gauging things correctly and I'm just still hitting them with my wheel. Because in my brain, I think like maybe I'll just drive over them, but that has not been the case quite yet. So far, I have hit them all. So yes, say a prayer for me that I will stop hitting these animals because my poor little heart, I get so sad when I think about it. I'm not like a huge, animal rights activist type person. Obviously I still eat animals. I'm a carnivore, but that doesn't mean I want to go around just killing them. So anywho, like I said, I have not had any luck with that, but I guess it is what it is. And hopefully as the summer continues, I will not be hitting any more animals. So yeah. Now, this is kind of funny. Part of my, one of the things that I do to help me come up with things to do for the summer. So this is kind of going back to, we're about to hit summer. I'm going to want things to do. I've mentioned that I want to try things like I want to go to a concert. I want to go to a comedian thing. Well, one guy, and I'm going to talk about this more with Jess next week. Well, briefly, I think, not even that long. So I'll go into it now, but I want to go to a concert. And one of the concerts I want to see that just happens to be coming to my city is Brandon Lake. And y'all know, he's my boy, okay? I really enjoy his songs. And I was like, okay, I feel like listening. I feel like I can listen to music and just get in the groove. And I was like, let me listen to some of his songs. Like, I want to go to this concert, but if I don't know any of his new stuff, it won't be near as fun as if I did. And so I went and looked at his newest album, which he released last year. So it was 2023. And I've enjoyed at least I think like 5 or 6 songs on it that I really like to listen to. And I have 2 that I really enjoy. One of them I'll talk about in the next episode called, what is it called? God is Not Against Me, I think. And then the other one that I really enjoyed is called Palm of Your Hand. Yeah, that's it. And both of these are groovy songs with with Brandon Lake, the type of songs that I love the best with him are his kind of like lo-fi, chill, got a nice beat, kind of smooth, easy listening type songs. And so both of those songs are kind of his easy listening type songs. They both got like a lo-fi type beat, not too much going on musically, but vocally real solid, real good. He does his falsetto, which I love. But Palm of His Hand, that's just been a good one. For whatever reason, it's been a good one for me lately. And I've been loving listening to and being reminded that I'm in the palm of his hand. And so you guys know I've been talking about how I've been enjoying nature lately. So I've been on my walk. I think I had that song on repeat while I've been walking, while I've been driving. Maybe I've been having distracted driving. That's why I'm hitting all these animals. But I've been listening to how, that I'm in the palm of his hand, no matter what, everything. And it's just a nice groovy beat. So if you need to be reminded, or even if you don't need to be reminded, but you're looking just for a good song, check out Palm of His Hand, Brandon Lake. It's really good. And so if I do end up going to his concert at the end of the summer, I hope he does that song. But really, like I said, that album has some pretty fun songs on there that I've enjoyed. He has one called I Prophesy, I think. That one's pretty catchy. There's one called Count 'Em, I think, which is pretty fun and catchy. There is Praise You Anywhere. I like that one. I'll praise you anywhere. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's fun. Da, 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 da. I like that one. That's a fun little like fast song for you. Praise You Anywhere if you need something kind of upbeat but not too wild. That's a good one too. But anyway, so that's part of my, kind of goals for the summer, wanting to go to concerts, wanting to see him, trying to listen to that music, doing all of that. But that made me think about how sometimes people's voices don't match quite how like the person, right? And you're like, what do you mean? So have you ever just heard a person first and then you saw them afterward and you're like, huh? And I'm not saying that about Brandon Lake per se, even though I do have to say the first time I heard him, I was like, wow, great voice. And I saw him, I was like, okay, interesting. But I love him to death, so no judgment there. But sometimes, even with my podcast, like I'll listen to my podcast, but then if they start doing like a video podcast or something, I'll look at them and be like, oh, is that what you look like? If I didn't know them in the beginning. And I had kind of a moment like that. I went to go get my oil changed. I'd gotten a Groupon for Meineke, and I needed to get my oil changed because apparently I've needed an oil change since August, and apparently I was 5,000 miles over the miles that I was supposed to be when I should have gotten another oil change. So we'll say approximately 10,000 miles since the last oil change, and I was like, oh, I got to get this done ASAP. And so, of course, I got to check out Groupon, which, y'all, if you aren't using Groupon, jump on that for the stuff like this, just for little discounts here and there. If if you're going on a trip, sometimes they have some for hotels, or they'll have it for like the different type of touristy things to do wherever you're going. That's kind of a good thing to look at. But also things like this oil change. Like I always use a Groupon for my oil change. And so I had made an appointment, and I talked to a friend of mine who was like, you made an appointment for an oil change? I was like, yeah. I mean, I know you don't have to. Sometimes you can just roll in, but I feel like if I have an appointment, then I can be like, hey, I had an appointment, try to fit me in. So I made an appointment for 4:15, and I get there like right at 4:15, and I go in, and the guy's like, hey, it might be a long wait. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I think I told him I had a Groupon. He was like, I've got a Groupon. He's like, it might be a long wait. I don't know the order of whether he told me long wait first or I told him Groupon first. Either way, both of them were stated. And he was like, yeah, this guy, he's been sitting here for a while, and we just got his car, and he's been here for 2 hours. I was like, oh my. So we're looking like maybe an hour, 2 hour wait. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. And so he tried to book me another appointment for the following week. But I was like, man, I really kind of want to get this done now. And so I decided to call another Meineke. So I called and nobody answered. Well, then I called this third Meineke and somebody answered. And it sounded like this, imagine, it was this guy with this country accent, all right? He's like, howdy type accent. And he sounded like he was a big dude with like a big old mustache, who looked like he might have like a pot belly, looked like maybe he's done mechanic work most of his life, so he knew what he was doing. That's what he sounded like. Okay. And so I call him and I was like, hey, do you have time for me to go get an oil change? I know you close at 6. It's like 4:30 now. And he was like, all right, if you can get here in the next 20 minutes. I said, I sure enough can. I will. I will. He was like, all right. So I zoom over there and I make it in like 15 minutes. And I go inside and the guy, first off, he's skinny. I was like, oh, okay. He was skinny. He was an older gentleman like I pictured. He did have a mustache, not quite like I pictured, but he had like long hair, like longish, just longish reddish hair, reddish blondish kind of hair with this mustache, and just not what I pictured. In my brain, I was like, huh, okay. And then, and he was there and he was friendly and he was like, they probably didn't take you because you had a Groupon and that ain't right. And I was like, I mean, maybe, like, I feel like they were busy. They really did look busy, like, maybe. And he was like, nah, I think it's because you had a Groupon. And he said, I'm going to call the district manager. After they did, I mean, they took me in like right away. I was done within 30 minutes. And he was like, I called the district manager on them. I was like, oh, you didn't have to do that. Like, I wasn't offended. And he was like, they shouldn't be doing that to people. And I was like, okay, thank you. Like, I don't know if they intentionally did not see me because I had a Groupon. But I was going to have this guy who was, I guess, going to defend me and let me know that that wasn't right and stick up for me against the other Meinekes. But anywho, so I did appreciate them taking me in, but I also noticed, like sometimes people don't look like how they sound, and I don't know, it's kind of funny. Like I wonder why or how we attach certain physical characteristics to certain voices. Like what part of socialization, another doctorate, dissertation idea, but what type of socialization do we have around voice and physical appearance, like how we think people look, and voice versus like how we think people's personalities are? Because I think when I heard his voice, I was naturally thinking like a country dude, which I think he was a country dude, he still had the accent. And I didn't quite think he would be a defender of Groupon people, but I'm curious where those ideas came from. And I don't even want to call them biases because we do hear that a lot, but like where kind of those preconceived ideas about voices and things come from. And I mean, and that's a whole thing. I mean, that ties into identity talk and like all of that and culture and everything. So there's definitely a lot to unpack there, but it's just funny that like there is something there. Like there is something to voices and how we assign different characteristics based on just people's voices. Hopefully you assign me some good characteristics and like, oh, she's friendly and nice. Love having her in the background. Those type of things. But I do think that that's interesting. And so yeah, if you have any of those stories, feel free to share them. Like I said, always comment on Instagram or, send me a DM or something. Let me know, like, hey, one time I really thought this person looked like this, but they did not look anything like I thought. Or, I don't know if it's happened in the reverse. I don't know if I've had someone that I looked at them and then heard the voice and was like, oh, I think that happens a lot with like those TV shows with the, like with singers and things where they look at a person and they're like, okay. And then how they sing sounds so different than what you expect. I just saw a video like that yesterday. It was one of the little voice things, one of the reels that captured me on Facebook. And it was this guy, this young South African gentleman, and he just looked like a regular old dude. But then when he started singing, he's like singing opera, right? And you're like, oh. And I think that was kind of like the big thing that got, what was her name? Was it Susan Boyle, I think? But it was like that older lady who kind of looked frumpy, in the beginning. And I use that just because that was part of her transformation. But then she like sang like beautiful opera, like operatic voice, and then they, had to do the whole makeover thing. But like just how people don't always match their voice. I don't know. It's cool. It would be fun to just research that and to experiment that a little bit. But anywho, all right. So I'm coming to a close-ish. There's a couple more things I want to share about when it comes to school. And this last week, one of the things is this past Monday. So y'all know that as of last year, I tried to attempt to go to different student events. Like if they're running, like go to like Girls on the Run or cross country and do things like that. Well, this last Monday I had an opportunity to participate or to help our kids at a race for like a Kids Run First program. Okay, now mind you, I hadn't been to any of the practices. I just, was busy the last few weeks, and so I did not participate in any of the practices. But one of my, good teacher friends is one of the coaches, and she was my coach last year that I went with last year to the cross country and all of that. So she's used to this running thing. Well, she was unable to go to the meet on Monday, and she was like, "Hey, can you cover for me?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." And so I got to be a coach, a substitute coach, and take these kids to a meet with another teacher. We had, of course, plenty of teacher volunteers. My mom was able to go. That was fun. And we went to this meet, and it ended up being the cutest thing. Like, we went to a football stadium, and they just had to run around the football stadium. It was so funny because it was so low-key. Like, it was not, they were like, it wasn't a big deal. The lady in charge was like, "Hey, you guys, just run 2 to 5 laps." I mean, they're supposed to run a mile, which I think was 5, maybe 5.5 laps. And she's like, "Well, just run as many as you can. And when you're done, just, meet me down here at the finish line and we'll give you your medal." So it was very low key. And so we had a couple of kids who ran, and it's so funny when you see them because when she's like, "Go," I mean, kids be like running with everything they have within them. Like, I'm like, pace yourself, because they are just flying. And some people look smooth, and some kids look just silly. I would be one of those who would just not look like, who looks like I'm about to fall. There were some kids, they look like they could fall any second. I'm like, "You're running, but you kind of look off balance." But they were running, and I know one of our kiddos, he ran maybe about 2 laps, and he came over and he was like, "Phew," he said, "I'm done." And I was like, I said 2 laps, you gotta do 5. He was like, I did 5. I was like, "I literally watched you do 2. And he was like, okay. So he went back around to finish his laps, and it ended up being a cute thing, and everybody got a medal, and afterward, everybody got pizza, and they got to celebrate. And I have to admit, our kids, they definitely appreciated the pizza, but at the same time, they kind of didn't want pizza, because earlier that day at school, that Monday, one of our parents had bought every classroom in the school 6 pizzas, like 6 boxes of pizza per classroom in our school. I mean, that's crazy for one, and super generous. And so all the kids got pizza that day. And so when they go to this meet and they're like, "More pizza," there were a couple of kids who were like, "Nah, we're good." But it was still very nice, and they appreciated it. And then come to find out the next day that they were on the news. And my mom and I, we were out to lunch. It was a teacher work day, so there were no students, but there were teachers, and we were able to go out to lunch. And while we were at McAllister's, she just happened to notice that our kids were on the TV screen, and she's like, "There's our kids." And I was able to pull up my phone and video it and then show them this week. But it was so cool to see them on the news. My one buddy who claimed to run 5 but had only run 2, he was actually, him and another child were interviewed, and I think he just sat there and smiled, but it was just funny seeing him on there, and it was just cute seeing, their efforts, and it was just fun. I definitely enjoyed it, as always. I usually do, but it was just another fun opportunity. Y'all, I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I want to be a coach. I don't think I can commit quite to that, but I will definitely show up to support, because that part, it is fun. It is a change of pace throughout your normal day. Like just doing something different that you just normally don't do. It's fun. You're like, I do have a life. Like my life is like, it can be fun. I can, put in new memories, because sometimes the day-to-day does get mundane. You go in and out and it's the same thing, and that's just life. I mean, that is what it is. But then when you can shake it up and do something different, then you're like, okay, like this is cool. This is what life is about. And so, so that was fun. It's our last week. The kids were barely making it. I mean, they were falling apart, some of them. Teachers, we were barely making it, but we made it. So if you're a teacher or a student out there, woohoo, we made it. We made it to the end of the school year. I hope it went good for you, for all you students out there, and for you teachers. If not, you know what? It's over now. So relax, enjoy, do all those lovely things. One of the things I'm most excited about is deleting my multiple alarms for getting up in the morning. I'm still going to set an alarm because, like I said, I don't want to be completely lazy after that first 2.5 weeks. I do want to be lazy those first 2.5 weeks. But it will be nice to delete the alarm for a little bit and kind of catch up on the rest that we need. So if you are a teacher out there, enjoy it. If you're not a teacher, but you know somebody's a teacher, let them enjoy it. Please don't try to guilt trip them and be like, you're off work and I still have to work. Please don't. Teachers work so hard throughout the year. And I'm not saying you don't, but choose your profession. And yeah, so it's shout out to all you teachers out there for Teacher Appreciation Week and for making it through the year. And shout out to students because it's not always easy making it through the year either. So yeah, I think that's about where we are. My music segment I already went into with Brandon Lake, and food segment, the Craft House pizza. That was good that I mentioned at the very beginning of the episode. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. Go ahead and if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. It's just something about Tuesdays. I would say subscribe, but I have nothing for you to subscribe to other than the podcast itself, I guess. But leave me a comment, leave me a 5-star review. I'd love that. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing next couple of weeks. And just know that the next episode coming out, it's going to be a good one. I am so excited to bring my friend to you. She is such a sweet, wonderful, but funny, just a great person whom I'm absolutely adore. After this episode, I'm like, girl, we're going to have to do this more often. Y'all are going to love her. But yeah, have an amazing next couple of weeks, and I will catch y'all in a bit.